Hello and welcome to Retirement Wealth Academy. I'm your host, Erin Kennedy. Thanks for being with us. This show is dedicated to helping retirees and pre-retirees sort through the very complicated questions surrounding retirement. And for the answers, we turn to local experts. With us today, we have Nick Royer with Group 10 Financial. Nick, it's good to see you.
It's wonderful being with you.
I'm glad you're here because we have a very important topic today. It's the myth of retiring in a lower tax bracket. A lot of us assume we're going to retire in a lower tax bracket, but that's not often the case.
Well, it's not, because you think, I worked and worked and worked, and I paid taxes, and then I'm retiring and I'm not working, so I shouldn't have any taxes, right?
Sounds good to me.
And so we've had live events where we'll ask the question, how many people in the room think that when they retire, they're going to retire to lower taxes? And predominantly, almost always, the room will raise their hands saying, yeah, our taxes should go down. And in reality, what most people don't know is because of how they're saving their money in IRAs, 401ks, these are literally ticking tax time bombs waiting to go off. And so what ends up happening is people retire. They need to take income out of to live their lifestyles. They have IRAs and 401ks that they put that money in pre-tax, and now they're taking all that money out, and all that money that they take out is it's like they earned it. And so they're having to pay just as much taxes in retirement as they did while they were working. And most people weren't set up for that. They said, oh, I need $6,000 of income to live in retirement, and didn't factor in the fact that they probably need to take $7,000 or $8,000 just to net the $6,000 in pocket. It's crazy.
And I'm sure when you do those live events, I know you like to ask the question, do you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And most of us will still say yes, even though we're not planning for it.
That's right. And it's crazy because when we think about it, there's these different tax buckets is what we tell people. You have the tax now, the tax later, and the tax never tax buckets. And the tax now money is, just imagine that as the money that when you earn interest in the bank, you're paying taxes on that in that year. And then you have that tax later money. That's the stuff that when that comes in, you're getting a tax deduction now, but then later on down the road, when you take it out, it's fully taxed as if you earned it. And that's where most people are putting their money. That last bucket, that tax never bucket, is where people are putting the least amount of money. It's like a Roth IRA, where money went in, you got no tax deduction today, but when you pull that money out later on, it's completely tax-free, which is a beautiful thing. And what I find is, and if I had my way, I'd have people retiring with tons of money in that tax-free bucket. And unfortunately, what I see is maybe about 10% of a person's wealth or less is actually in that bucket. 90% of their wealth is in that taxed later bucket. And they're just kicking that can down the road until a point in time where you got all these taxes you got to pony up for. Uncle Sam is almost part owner in your retirement savings accounts.
But why would I want to pay my taxes now?
Well, I'm always look at it like, do I want to pay taxes on the seed versus the harvest? If we were a farmer, would you want to pay taxes on the 10-cent seed or the $3 harvest? And it's not a matter of if taxes will go up, it's when will they go up. As a matter of fact, right now, the tax cuts of the past are already set to expire within the next couple years. And so at that point in time, tax rates are going to go higher. And if all you have is these pre-tax dollars, you're going to be paying more taxes later on than you do right now. And so I almost just look at it as, do I want to cleanse my money if it's taxes at current tax rates, which I think are at discounts, or kick the can down the road and have to pay more over time? And when you do the analysis, sometimes it's overwhelming to pay taxes and at least get rid of some of those taxes now so that you can have a retirement of tax-free wealth.
It's not just what you think. We are living in a historically low tax rate, as you know. So you mentioned Roth accounts. What other strategies should people be considering implementing today to have that tax-free money in retirement?
Well, so it's moving those tax buckets down the road. You know, if you can get as much money in that tax-free bucket, that's going to be amazing. So what I tell people to do is, if you're still working, look into saving into your 401k. And most people are like, well, I'm already doing that. Well, what about the Roth side of that 401k? And when you ask that question, people are like, I can save in a Roth in the 401k? And the answer is yes, you can. You're, in essence, contributing your money into the Roth portion and creating tax-free wealth inside there. So that's one strategy to use. Another strategy is to really look at your accounts. If you have these big IRAs and 401ks, start looking at doing Roth, what I call strategic Roth integration, which is over time, I'm going to slowly take some money out of that tax later bucket, the IRAs, the 401ks, those pre-tax accounts, and pay it and cleanse it of its taxes now at current low rates, and get some money over in that tax-free bucket so that you can answer a question like, when you're 75 years old and you want to go on a $10,000 vacation, you can literally take out $10,000 out of a Roth tax-free.
Right.
That's nice, instead of saying, geez, I can't do that because if I take that out, that $10,000 is going to push me into a higher tax bracket, and maybe my Social Security is going to be taxed, and it's all those other things you don't think about. So those are the things that proper planning, you got to look at how taxes will affect you in retirement.
All comes back to that proactive planning.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Nick, thank you so much for your time.
Wonderful
That was
being
really
with you,
helpful.